Okay, we are now moving on to the second half, class policies and expectations. So this is more like the rules when you are in the art room. Students are expected to exhibit appropriate behavior at all times. This includes not talking when teacher and classmates are talking, respecting the classroom and class materials, and respecting classmates. So at the start of each class period, even if it's a work day, after attendance, I am going to have at least some reminders, review for you. During this time, it is expected that you are quiet, which means silent, and listening. The way that the tables are arranged in the classroom, if you're a 7th or an 8th grader, you might have experienced last year that the tables were in rows, and now they're situated so that you're at groups of 4, which I think is more conducive for a creative, artistic environment, but that does require some effort on your part. When I'm speaking to you as a class, that you need to turn your body so that I can see your face, okay? And giving me that eye contact lets me know that you are listening. Most days, not all days, but most days you have time when you're working that you can be talking with the people around you as long as it's appropriate and at a level 1. So it is really not the time for you to talk when I am doing that review at the beginning of class, okay? In addition to that, just make sure that you're respecting things that are in the classroom. So making sure that you're putting your supplies back where they go, not just like chucking them on the demonstration table, but putting them where you got them in an orderly fashion, cleaning your table, putting your project where it goes, making sure that you're being respectful to other people's work. Really, you just shouldn't touch other people's artwork, because if you do and something bad happens by accident, that student is going to be upset with you, okay? No food or drink. You guys know that you're allowed to have water bottles. They need to be clear. They can't be like the crunchy disposable kinds. We just need to be especially careful with water bottles in the art classroom, because obviously if you spill water on, a worksheet in social studies, it's probably not a really big deal. But if you spill water on somebody's art project that they've been working on for 2 weeks, that's going to be a pretty big deal. So we do just need to be careful with our water bottles. Students are expected to have necessary supplies every day. This includes a pencil, completed homework, sketchbook, and student computer. Something that's not on this list is also your agenda and your AR book, because if you finish a project early, that is one of your options of something that you can do with your time, and chances are I'm not going to let you go to your locker to get that. There are, in the middle of your table, there are caddies that have pencils and erasers in them. You can use whatever eraser is in there. The pencils that are in there each have a number, and there's a number at the corner of your table. If you are going to borrow one of the pencils in the middle of the table, you should use the number that correlates to the spot at your seat, so that if I'm missing pencil number 1, I know so-and-so sat in seat number 1, and I can ask them to return the pencil or replace it. Those pencils are not there for you to use every day. It's expected that you will bring a pencil, and those are just for when you forget periodically, okay? Not every day. A tardy will be issued to any student entering the room without a pass or teacher email after the start of class. So make sure that you're aware of your 3-minute passing period and you're getting here on time, because we have a lot to do in our 12 weeks together. When students enter the class, they may get their work from their shelf and sit in their assigned seat. This is very important. When you come into the classroom, this is what you need to do. First, look at the board. Okay, the board will give you information about what you are doing during that class period, which will give you information about what supplies you should be getting out. Okay, so you're going to come in, you're going to look at the board, you're going to get whatever supplies you need, and then you are going to sit down. Okay, you're not going to come in and stand around and socialize with your friends. You're not going to come in, get your supplies, and then stand around and socialize with your friends. You come in, you look at the board, you get your supplies, you sit down. If there are no supplies to get, you come in and you sit down, okay? After attendance, that is your cue that we are having our review, discussion, demonstration, the lesson for the day. So attendance is your cue that it is time to take a seat and be quiet, okay? So make sure that you are abiding by that. Students are expected to return all work and materials to the proper area at the close of class, as well as have their work surfaces clean before they leave the room. This we kind of already talked about, but you will have cleanup time provided, and the amount of time that I provide you depends on what we're working on. So if you're drawing on a piece of paper, I'm probably going to give you 30 seconds to a minute to clean up, because that doesn't take very long. When we're working on our ceramics project, I will give you the maximum amount of time, and that's 7 minutes. However, when I tell you it's time to clean up, that means you need to stop working and clean up. If you work for another minute, then you're not going to have enough time to clean up, and then you're going to be late to your next class, okay? So you need to make sure that when it's time to clean up, you clean up, and that's what you're focusing on. Again, not that you're getting distracted by other things. Let's see. Students may borrow designated erasers and rulers without teacher permission. Pencils can be checked out periodically. So the erasers and the pencils in your caddy, like I said, you can use without asking. There are also some things over. Let's see if I can show you. Okay, so you can kind of see those red drawers. Next to those red drawers, there are blue, right here, some blue bins. Those have glue sticks and rulers and just some pretty typical supplies. You can use those without asking. Also over there, that's where like the Kleenex and the hand sanitizer, where that stuff is. There are garbage cans all around the room. We have 4 sinks. You're welcome to use all of the sinks when it's time to clean up. And then we'll talk about some other things that are around the classroom when I return, like where you look so you know where your homework is, where the shelves are, where you turn in your projects. That's not really something I can show you via video. All other supplies may be used only with teacher permission. So that just means if there's something you want to use, like a template, for example, that's not out, just ask me and I'll either get it for you or tell you where it is. Talking is a privilege for classes displaying proper behavior and may be revoked at any time if necessary. Talking must be quiet and topics of conversation must be school appropriate. So here's how talking works. We don't talk during every project. For example, most classes start with an observational drawing project, and when we draw from observation, we don't talk while we're drawing because it requires a lot of concentration, and you can't concentrate enough if you're carrying on a conversation. Most projects you are allowed to talk while you're working. However, there are some stipulations. You can only talk to the people who are at your table. The reason for that is if you're talking to someone at another table, you're just talking too loud, okay? You need to be talking at a level 1. That's not your regular speaking voice. So you have to be talking quietly. I shouldn't be 2 tables away and be able to hear what you're talking about, okay? Really, only the people who are sitting at your table should be able to hear you. Of course, you need to talk about things that are school appropriate. You just can't talk in unkind ways, okay? So even if it's about someone that's not in this class or doesn't go to this school or whatever, if it's not kind, you're not going to be talking about that. Swearing, negative talk, and foul language will not be tolerated. Student computers must only be used for the assignment at hand. So when we are using your computers, just make sure that you're not being distracted by other things. And overall, be respectful, work hard, and have fun. And if you can do those things, then art should be educational and enjoyable experience for you. Okay, we are going to look at the back of this now, which is about the art show. So this is really for your parents. It's information about setting up and taking down for the art show. Actually, I'm going to stop this video and then just restart so it doesn't get too big.